Buenos dias and good morning. This could be the most important video I have shot yet for any of my channels. I was inspired very much by a Instagram friend actually, who is also in Costa Rica, living very much a holistic permaculture lifestyle. Silvana, if you see this, thank you. I appreciate you. And you are my inspiration for sharing this today. So, little background. The area I live in, Vasconia of Parita and Punta Arenas, Costa Rica, has, at least in my perspective, one problem, and that's litter. This is not an exclusive Costa Rican problem, but it is kind of bewildering because Costa Rica is like the most dynamic, diverse, beautiful ecosystem on planet Earth. We're renowned for that. A lot of our tourism surrounds ecotourism specifically. And there is a habit that Ticos have that is a seemingly cultural thing that has really struck me and surprised me since I've lived here, because so many people are passionate about maintaining the beauty of the environment. There's no hunting in Costa Rica. There's a lot of, ecological conservation programs and businesses and outreach groups. Yet if you go to any of the beaches, or you're traveling down the streets, or even walking through neighborhoods, there's litter, trash all over the streets, outside people's homes. They don't seem to care. I'm not criticizing, I'm just observing. I've lived here 5 years now, and it really strikes me as contradictory to the nature of the people and the hearts of Costa Rica. So that's the reason I'm recording this video. And again, not to criticize, but to highlight something that maybe people are not mindful about. That's as far as it goes. So if you knew me in New Jersey, you knew that I was part of groups that would, walk along the roads. One day a week or so, we'd gather groups and we would try to clean up garbage on main roads specifically so other people would see us. I always spent time in the forest. It was very important for me when I went out to have a backpack. If you see me anywhere, I usually have a backpack, and I pick up as much garbage as I can along my journey. I try not to leave things. If you've known me and you're from Vasconia and you're watching this, or even from Parita and you've been to the soccer games on Sunday, you know that I'm out there with my neighbor Pablo, his son Jeremy, a few other people cleaning up garbage when everybody leaves. But the shocking thing is after a day of soccer on a Sunday, we pick up at least 5 full, giant, oversized black garbage bags full of trash. And the people on the sidelines of the games are just consuming beers, food, plates of food, junk food bags, whatever they have, and are throwing it on the ground after. There's bags hanging on the fence. They could walk 10 feet and put it in the bag, but they're throwing it on the ground. And this is mind-blowing because I left the United States because of that mindset. And it seems Costa Rica is almost worse than the United States. And to say that is shocking because the United States is like really bad in so many ways, so unethical, so immoral. And that's why I left. And I came to Costa Rica believing full-heartedly with all my soul that the people here would be more mindful and caring. And it's just a problem. It's a dilemma. And the only way I know how to do anything about it is to have people see me picking up garbage, being a foreigner, and just enthusiastically doing it, not doing it in judgment, not doing it in criticism, but doing it because it's right. And I want to inspire at least the children of these people that are throwing litter everywhere to see the difference between right and wrong, or, maybe inspire them to be different in the future. And it's really working because when I'm walking around picking up garbage, none of the adults get up to help me, but the kids will get up to help me. So this is a message to the parents. Do the right thing, be a better example for your children, and maybe look at them as an example of how you should be, because maybe their innocence and you being jaded, there's, a lesson to learn there. You can learn a lot from your children. And I recently saw a sign that said, in the forest, the animals do not leave garbage, but the humans do. Be more like the animals. So I want to be more like an animal in a sense, but I also want to show that, it's not just about picking up the garbage, but Silvana, who I mentioned before, inspired me to gather as much of the plastic bottle recycling as possible and utilize it or repurpose it for my vivero, for planting the trees. So typically I would go to a store like Colono Agriculture and buy these bags. So I'd be spending money on these bags. They're not expensive, but this is what I sell all my vivero items in, you know, my nursery items. You can see all various trees here. You can see Buddy and Astro in the back. And being inspired by Silvana, I realized I have infinite free resources being brought to my door every day until this problem stops. Please stop it. But for now, I'm going to repurpose every Sunday a big black bag full of plastic bottles. And today I'm going to show the process of cleaning these bottles out, cutting the tops off, poking holes for breathability, and then filling them with soil. And eventually, you know, they're going to be what people will purchase when they come and buy from my vivero. And of course, when they bring them home, they could keep them in the plastic bottles, or they can recycle the plastic bottles after and replant the trees in the ground and so on. Or I hope they plant the trees in the ground and then keep the bottles with soil in them and plant other flowers, or plant the seeds of the trees that are growing in the future so that they can propagate more food for their neighbors perhaps, or start a business. So that's the nature of my video today. Thank you for tuning in. For me, I don't want to get emotional because this is a very emotional thing for me, but this is like the most important video I think I'm going to record probably in the history of my channel. Hopefully some other really good things happen that I can record, or I start doing really impactful good things. But for me, this is the most important video out of the 500 or so I've posted on my YouTube channel in the past 10, 11 years. So thank you for paying attention, and please share. You know, obviously like, subscribe, comment, all that stuff. But the most important thing is sharing this, because this is a seed of inspiration that came from somebody else. I'm planting it in a pot so it can blossom and bloom, but the key is spreading this around as quickly as possible, as vastly as possible, and that's up to you guys. So thank you. This is just a small part of the plastics that were not thrown into the garbage by somebody else yesterday. These were literally the plastic bottles that were laying on the ground. One day, one Sunday of soccer, just the plastic bottles. I personally probably collected maybe 100, 150 glass bottles, and those are recycled to the companies here like Coca-Cola or whatever. The distributors will come pick them up and then replace them with other bottles in those cases. So this is just a portion. This doesn't include any of like the plastic bags, or, you know, cups, solo cups and things like that, or the paper cardboardy Pepsi cups and things like that that people drink from. All of this behind me is just one small portion of the plastic bottles that can be repurposed and reused for growing plants. Now, if you want to make them fancy, you could take off the labels, you could paint them, you know, you could have your kids do art with them and stuff and make them beautiful planters for all of your foods. And you don't have to go to the store anymore to, you know, buy a pot at a dollar store and then plant your basil, your tomatoes, or, you know, whatever you're growing at home. You can use this. This is free. Literally, Costa Ricans, please, and anybody in the world, go walk around the street one day a week with a garbage bag and pick up as many as you can and repurpose them, because eventually this stuff will wind up in the ocean and create an island of garbage or microplastics after they break down after a few months and years, and that's destroying our planet more than anything. And this is all because of us. There's no other animal on the planet that's doing this. It's just us. It's our fault, therefore it's our responsibility to fix the problem. So, remove the cap, remove the plastic. I'm gonna clean this out. Get out of here, garbage. Wash out the bottles nice. Now this is ready to become a free pot for plants that can grow life, that can grow food, that can grow medicinal herbs, that can grow flowers, whatever you want. But reuse this stuff, please. And thank you for the moment, people that litter, because now I don't have to buy any pots in stores anymore, or bags. So if you come and support the temple, or the jungle temple vivero at some point, and you buy something that is out of a bottle, you're doing your part as well. And if you can reuse it for something else after you plant what you've bought from me, even better, because these never end up in landfills, they never end up in rivers, therefore never end up in oceans, therefore never end up in the bodies of animals that we then fish for and want to eat. So big problem solved by a simple little task that we can all do easily with a couple hours a week, or even a half hour a week, or even 10 minutes a week, or even 5 minutes. If you're out walking your dog, bring a bag with you instead of just a poop bag. Bring another plastic bag and pick up some garbage on the street. We can all do our part. So thank you ahead of time. And now I'm gonna clean the rest of these.
I just wanna shine my light so bright. Oh yeah, in Hollywood tonight. Starring Brendan in Hollywood tonight. Yeah. Ain't no stress in a G like me. I got the OD at the end of my B-I-N-G. Straight the match, fuck the past, burn it all down to the floor, dog. Others looking for burn on social media. I'm out here in a Wikipedia.
"36 reusable bottles. That maybe took me 5 minutes to do. 20 minutes to pick up, 5 minutes to clean. Who knows, another 15, 20 minutes to cut the tops off and burn some holes in them. I'm gonna try poking holes, but usually when you poke holes in plastic, the hole will close up after you pull something out of it. So Silvana, who I said inspired me, was using some type of hot rod. So I'm gonna try to do the same thing and heat up some metal rod that I have over here that I use for other work, and I'm gonna try to burn some holes in them. So you guys will see that on the time lapse as well. But the idea of this video was pick up garbage, reuse some stuff, and in the next couple of parts of this, you'll see me preparing the bottles, cleaning them up on the outside a little bit more, but I may actually keep the labels on just to show people, you know, what it's about, what brands are putting all this junk plastic out, to be honest. And yeah, so thank you for tuning in, guys, and please go out and do this yourself as often as possible. There's free resources everywhere, and we could save the planet in the meantime. So, pura vida.
This a mixed up crazy dream. Through the hazy mist I see. This a crazy mixed up dream. Through the hazy mist I see.
So I will recycle all of the tops, but if you ever need a funnel for anything, for like if you use gasoline or for drinks or something, you could use the top part as a funnel, or start a little side business and sell cheap funnels for people. Go see what the price of a funnel is, a plastic funnel that you would buy at a hardware store or a dollar store, and charge 10% of that and sell 10 funnels for the same price as one funnel, and you got a little side hustle. Add some art to it, you could charge more. A little bit of paint on almost anything does a whole bunch of magic. But these will all go into recycling. Alright, I got 30. These two were thicker. They were more challenging to cut with the scissors. So I'm going to grab a knife, my Rambo knife, which you might have seen in other videos, and I'm going to cut through these with the knife because the scissors just didn't work, but only two of the, I think, 36. So I've got 36 new planters from one Sunday. That will equate to a minimum of me selling the plant that's going to be in here for 1 mil or 3 mil, probably. If it's a fruit, it's going to be 3 mil, which is like $6 US. If it's like a flower or an herb like aloe vera or oregano or something like that, basil, it's going to be 1 mil, and that's about $2 US. So I just turned free resources into money, Didn't have to go to town to buy new bags because I'm all out of those vivero bags, those nursery bags. Didn't have to spend any money on bus fare or paying a friend to bring me. Didn't have to spend any money on buying the bags themselves. And I saved myself several hours. So you can do the same. Please do. That's the point of this video. Thank you. Good morning. Buenos dias. A continuation from before. A new day. So instead of using that burning technique that I was talking about, or hole poking technique, I actually was searching my little bodega, my little garage and workshop for something that I could use. And I was thinking poke a hole, but then it's gonna have the issue with the plastic. I couldn't find anything to really heat up that metal rod. And I was thinking, if I'm heating it up, the way heat works, it's gonna transmit through the entire bit of metal. So Astro saying hi here. So I found these and I thought this might be a good technique. And what I'm going to do, and I did one hole here. Oh, it must have been in another one. So I'm just a little bit of working it. And then at some point it pokes through this little screw hook. And when it pokes through, I'm not gonna do all of the ones on video because I've got about 30 of these. So even time lapse, it would be a fair amount of time. But bear with me for just a minute. So I'm just wiggling back and forth. At some point it goes in, and then I'll twist it all the way in. Let me do it a little more up close. Twist it all the way in, and you'll see, and you can do this too at home. And then you pull it out, and it gives a nice, I don't know if you can see that, because I did it in the green part, a nice hole. So a hole about the same size as the screw. Let me do another one. Try to get it done a little quicker. So I'll do about 5-6 holes on the sides. All right, once I get a little bit in, then it'll start twisting. So you just wiggle, 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 wiggle. But this technique does work. So with a little punch in, there we go. Then I twist it all the way in, so it threads through and it, you know, kind of tears a little hole in it. And then once I get it all the way in, I do a nice pull out, and you've got your hole there. You see? There we go. You got a hole. So I'm going to do about 5 or 6 around the outside, and then 1 or 2 in the bottom, so water can drain out through the bottom of the soil in here. And the next thing you guys see will be me packing these with soil that I already harvested from another part of my property, and then I've got 30 new planters, and then I will show you what I'm throwing in them. So do this. All right, next step. I'm not even gonna lie, I didn't use that little hand screw, that hook screw. I used this. I got all of them done. The dogs are going crazy, filled everything with dirt. Now I'm gonna plant everything. Another brand new day here. Just to give some explanation, that 7 days later, I was not exaggerating. It didn't take me 7 days to drill the holes in the little bottles, but I was actually playing soccer in the afternoon when I first started this video, and I don't have cleats, and it's the first time I played in like 3 or 4 years, and I was playing barefoot for about an hour training one of my neighbor's kids, and I thought I broke my toe, fractured it. I actually broke the nail bed right above where the skin starts, and there was like a hematoma, kind of blood pocket, and it got really swollen. It got infected for a few days. I've already seen the doctor. I'm on antibiotics. It's all good, but I couldn't walk for 3 or 4 days. It was excruciating. So I resumed a week later, drilled the holes, and now you're gonna see the finished product. All right, so these are the first set already planted out. We have aloe vera, we have gotu kola, vanilla. These are different chili peppers. These are coca, actually. The coca plant. Here is basil. I have miracle fruit in these guys, and this is lemon verbena. All right, I'm not gonna say the Spanish names, but we've got, what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 varieties of things. And every Sunday, I'm gonna go pick up garbage and replicate the same. So hopefully I have hundreds of these planters in the coming weeks. Free material. Please do it yourself as well. So thank you for tuning in. This is one small way we as individuals can, in hand clean up our neighborhoods and repurpose these things to grow herbs, to grow fruit trees, to grow vegetables, whatever you want to grow in your home garden. You don't have to waste gas money. You don't have to spend money going to some type of garden center or hardware store and buying these things, which, if you think about it, when there's less demand for plastic containers, they will create less. That's just how supply and demand works. So if we're repurposing all of the plastic that's been created, there's no need to create new plastics. And maybe someone out there, I'm sure there are innovators that are making alternatives to traditional plastic, will start creating more of those and see, okay, people are not buying as many plastics anymore. They're not buying pots. They're not buying these types of things, these plastic bags. So they'll start either repurposing plastics themselves, recycling, or making them out of biodegradable material. That's my hope. Thank you guys for tuning in. Share this with anybody that you know that enjoys home gardening. And if you're just a kind-hearted, altruistic person and you want to go clean up garbage, the plastic bottles can be repurposed and you can gift them to your friends as potting material. All right, so highly recommend it. I'm doing this every week for the rest of my life here. Anybody that comes visits me, I would love for us to do this together as well. So thank you guys for tuning in. I love you. Until the next video, Tobin out.